So welcome again, guys, to M-PESA integration into a Node.js Express application. My name is Simon. So in the last section, you were able to generate password, and I said that in this section, on the following tutorial, which is part 5, we are going to work on generation of a token. Okay, so we were able to generate a password, as you can see in M-PESA.js, and this route here. If we visit that route using a postman, we are going to get back the password. So the first thing, let's just do npm start. That is to start our server. And then now after our server running, we can visit this one, port 3000 /API/password, and if we hit send, we shall receive back the password, and it should be get request. So if we send it, we should get the password back. It is saying that res is not defined. Let me try to look at it. I don't know where that error came from. Okay, here you have to do res request response. I don't know why I deleted it. So I think after that we can go back and try sending again, and there we go, we get our password back. Okay, so after that we are going to, after this, we are now going to do a function on the generation of the token. So but that, I want us to first look at the Safaricom developers portal so that we can look at various items. So let's just log in. So this takes us to our application, but I want us to look at the docs and Lipa and M-PESA online integration. So you go to APIs, where is it? So even just here, we have a curl request, Ruby, Python, Node.js, PHP, Clojure, and Java and JSON response. So let's look for Node.js because it's the one that we are doing. So this is Python, and now this is Node.js. So you can see this is the code for generating of the generation of the token. So let me just copy this, and I'm going to explain to you a few things. So I'm sorry that my code takes I take a long time because I have to explain things. I don't just have to do things that you don't understand, so I have to explain. That's why it's taking a long time. So let's just do a function. We can just do exports dot we can just call it token is equals to you can just do a function, or you can just do an arrow function like that. But remember, we have to pass there request response and next. So I'll tell you the if you understand Node.js, understand this is the middleware. So after this one, it is going to return next to call the next request. Okay, so and it's going to take our data. So I'm going to explain that. So just know that this is our method that is going to generate our token. So this method is going to return our token, generate our token, and this token is going to be used with another method that is going to do STK push. So we have copied the code that is used in Node.js to generate a token from the Safaricom portal, that is developers portal. Now we want just to paste here, but we are going to do a few modifications. Okay, so the first thing you can see, they are using the request, the client they are using request. So if you want to use request, that is okay, but you'll have to install it. But we are not going to use it in this tutorial for various reasons. So the first one, let me just copy this and search it. Let me just search that and show you. So if we do just node, then we press request, we get to this. Let me just click on this and get the GitHub repository. So the first thing you find that this package is deprecated, so it is no longer supported. You can still use it, but I'm just trying to show you that it is no longer supported. That is the first thing. Though many people are still using it, but it is going to be deprecated. So let me just visit the GitHub repository, this one, so that you can see the message. So they are saying that, let me just scroll down a little bit, and they're saying that deprecated. So as of February 11, 2020, request is fully deprecated. No new changes are expected to land. In fact, none have landed for some time. For more information, why request deprecated, please alternative. So you can click on here to read the alternatives. But I have the alternative package that is called Axios. So anybody knows that Axios is actually the most used request package for Node.js. Many people are using it actually. So let me just fetch the GitHub repository so that you can see how many people are using it. You can see 80.3 stars. 80.3 stars. So meaning that it is very popular and is the most used request package. So this is the one that we are going to use. Okay. So for us to use it, you have to install it first. So let's just end this by doing Control-C. That is if you are on Windows, and then after that you can just do npm install Axios. So this is going to install Axios package in the code. So I am installing it in our project. So this is going to install Axios package. So this is the one that we are going to use, meaning that we are going to alter this code because M-PESA, the RAG API demonstration uses what? It uses a request package, but in our case, we are not going to use request. So that is it. So after that, we are going to do various things. So the first thing is defining this request. You don't have to do that. So after installing Axios, you have to require it here. So by doing const Axios is equals to require, and we are requiring Axios like that. That is enough. So after requiring it up there, we don't have to again redefine it down here. So after that, we have here consumer key is equals to your consumer key, consumer secret is equals to your consumer secret. But do we need this one even? We don't need. Why? We don't need because in the previous tutorials we had already fetched them here from our .env file here. So you have this consumer secret and consumer key. We had already defined them up here, so we don't have to fetch them again to redefine them. So we already have those in our global space, so we don't have to define them again, just get them. So let's just delete this, And the next thing is the URL. So the URL we are not going to change. Okay, we are not going to change the URL. So I'm just going to do const URL is equals to that. And then authentication, as you can see, they are doing authentication, they are doing the concatenation of. So be careful, yeah, they are doing the concatenation of consumer key, and then this hyphen, this not hyphen, this colon, and then consumer secret, and then they are converting it to base 64. And here they are doing a new buffer. So what you are going to do is we are going to delete this buffer, and after doing that we will do buffer.from. So if we don't do this, it's going to throw an error. So just do buffer from this. So consumer key, remember we defined them up here, and we define them as consumer key without this hyphen, without this underscore. So we just have to delete that like that. And consumer secret, we also have to do that like that, and then to base 64. So after that, here is where now we do request. But now, since we are using Axios, we just have to delete that. Now, in Axios, how do we send headers? Yeah, how do we send headers? So basically, we'll have just to define headers. Just do const headers is equals to you can just do that and do authorization. So the headers we need is authorization, and that we are going to assign it this auth. So just do const auth is equals to that. So you are just doing authorization and going to assign it to this auth here. So these are the headers we have to send. When you are sending the request to Safaricom, you have to send this information in the header so that Safaricom can authenticate that it came from this token was issued by Safaricom. Okay, this because we have this consumer key and consumer secret, so this we have to send together with in the header so that you can know that it is the one that issued that consumer key and consumer secret, so that you can send you the token. Okay, so we have headers. So what do we do after maybe setting the headers? We have the headers which we are setting to basic, and then the concatenation of a consumer key colon consumer secret into base 64, and we have the header. So what the next thing is to send the request. So what are you going to do is to do this anxious dot, we have to send a get request, and then the first thing you have to pass there is the URL. So the URL is here, and then after the URL you have to, if we have data we will have sent with the data, but now just do that, and then we do that, and you do headers, and yeah, it is equals to headers like that. But I think ES6 you can just do headers like that, and that is enough. Okay, so as you know, Axios, it is a promise-based package. So meaning that we use now. After that we do. So if this goes on correctly, we do dot then. So dot then respond. So if that will go on fine, it is going to return response. Okay. It is now going to return the response. And what do we do if all does not go on well? We have to catch the error. So just do dot catch error, and after catching, sorry for that error, and then after catching that error, we'll do something with it. You can just do console dot log error. So we log that error like that. But now the main concern is .then. So this is the where the response comes. So when if after the response comes, what do we have to do? We can console .log that request. So remember, Axios comes with response, but data is found in .data. So we'll do can do maybe console.log response data like that. So what this is going to do is going to console log the data that comes. All right. So this is the method. Then after that we have to call next. Remember this next here. So just call here next like that. So after that, so this is the one that will generate our token. Okay, is it over? No. So remember we'll have another method for STK push. So let me just create that method. I just call it exports dot I'll call STK push, and then I'll just do also an arrow function like that, and then pass here request and response, and then here I'll just call that here I'll just do let me show you. After that we have created that. Let's go to this file, which is our route file, and remember how will we be doing STK push? We'll create another route dot post, so that will be a post route, and what will be we can just do STK push like that. So that is the route. And then so what will happen then? So what will happen, we have to import those two methods that we've created in our M-PESA controller. So the first method was STK push, and the second one is the token. So we have to import them in this file. So we'll do token like that, and then STK push. So we have imported those methods. So after importing them, what we are going to do, the first thing we usually do is to get the token, and after getting the token we do STK push. So what we are going to do here is we are going to do this, just copy that, and then after that we're going to paste them there like that. So what is going to happen is, if we visit this route, it is going to call this method token. And what will this method token do? This method token is going to return the token. Here we are going to return the token. Okay. We are going to assign this this token to the response object. Okay, so that we can get it in this STK push method. So after calling this, it's going to run up to here, and then it will call the next request, and the next request is going to be handled by this STK push. Okay, so I don't know if you understand that, but that is what will happen. So if we hit on this, if we send a post request on this route, what will happen is that it is going to call this, going to run, then after that running is going to call this method here. Okay, so let's try to do this. Let's just try to do it. So let me go to M-PESA controller. Sorry. So let me go to M-PESA controller, and here what I'm going to do is to so what I'm going to do here is to just do res.send res.send it is done like that. So what will happen is that this STK push will run after this, meaning that if these run correctly, we are going to get the data console logged in our console here. It console logged in our console here. So let's just run the server again. Not that. Let's run the server again. So the server is running. So let's go back to the postman and send request there. So here it will be STK, then push like that. So let's just send that and see what happens. Okay, it is post. So you have to change the post. So here it is saying it is done. And then let's go to our console and see. In the console, as you can see, it has console logged, access token, and the time that it expires in. So that access token is in this data object. So what we can do this. We can do let data equals to this. So how do we get first how do we get given this object here, how do we get this token, access token? So access token will be, if data is equals to this, then access token let access underscore token equals to, it will be now data dot access token like that. So if we console log data dot access token, is going to log our token now, and that is what we need. So just do console dot log access token like that. So let's just save that and try it again. So let's go to postman and send a request again. So it looks like you have an error. Let's check. Okay, it is not. Let's just do that so that we can restart the server, and then we can send again. And there we go. We have the token here. Now we are getting our token. So what we want to do this token is to, instead of just console logging our token, we want to call the next function. Okay, we want to call the next function, but we want to set this we want to put this token into our request. So what we are going to do is to do this. We will do this. We will do a request dot access token, or we can just do token. Don't have to call it access token. You can just do request dot token is equals to access token like that. So after doing this, what will happen is that it is going to go to the next. So the next request, according to our route here, is going to call this STK push, but it is going to go with this access token. So it's going to go with, the request is going to contain the access token so you can access it. So maybe you are saying that why can't we do it the way we did with the password, with the M-PESA password, where we just generated the password. You just use the method generate the password, and then here we just send, and then we get the password. So I'll tell you that it is quite different, because here we are using promises, and promises, you have to be careful of doing that. If we just return, instead of doing that, let's say we just return the token like that and call that method here, we are going to get undefined. So that is why you have to use this method so that you can get that token. Okay. So now here we have the token, and this token we can now get it. So for example, how can I get it here? So what I've told you that this is what happens. I go to this route here, I send the request, that is the post request. What does it do? It calls what? It calls token method. What does the token method do? The token method generates, sends a request to M-PESA and then gets back the token. And after getting back the token, what does it do? After getting back the token, we assign that token to a request object, and then it calls the next request. So the next request, the next middleware, it is like middleware. The next middleware is this. So it has to call this one. And as it calls this one, it is going with that token. So that request contains that token. Okay, so we can still get that token in this SDK push method. So let me show you. So for example, if we just go to the SDK push here and do this, you just do const token is equals to request dot token, like that. If we just do this and we do rest.send token, let's do that and let's test that and see. So let's just go to the here again and send it. I don't know why this is that. So let's do it again. And there you go. You see now we are getting this token. So meaning that we can access that token